Okay, so we have one of our star tasters here, Shannon, and he has agreed, I had to twist his arm, to taste some mangoes that, like, we put in a general category of citrus flavors. And so we've got 5 varieties, and we thought we would start at the very beginning.
Okay.
Because Lemon Meringue is the original variety that came over from Myanmar as Pyu Kalay. I think
their original name.
Yes, everybody could struggle through that name, but no, it's now known as Lemon Meringue. So we figured that we would try 2 different levels of ripeness. So this is the riper version.
Right. Excellent. Alrighty, I'll wait for you.
Standing on.
What if I taste one that's better earlier than the ones later? It's going to like sway my judgment.
Yeah, I know. We're just all about playing with your judgment.
There you go. Cheers. It's definitely very ripe. It's good, but it is got a little bit of the very ripe flavor.
Yeah, it still has a lot of lemon flavor in it, though.
It does. It's to me, when lemon meringue is very, very ripe, it's almost like a lemon candy. Mm-hmm. I'm old enough that my grandma was one of the grandmas that had the little dish of hard lemon candies, on the coffee table.
Was it cut glass?
Yeah, and then the candies were hard enough that they were like cut glass too. But yeah, exactly. And it's a little reminiscent of that, but I think it's even sweeter. But yeah, a very ripe lemon meringue always strikes me as that like hard candy lemon drop flavor from when I was a kid. But yeah, that one is definitely close to giving over to the dark side.
Yeah, but
still tasty.
Still tasty. I mean, we have some significant spots on it, like that happen when it starts getting overripe, but no off flavors. It's just really sweet and lemony. Sometimes
they seem to get very, very dark coloration on the skin. Mm-hmm. That's not like that one is very, very ripe, but it's not like super dark color. Sometimes they get kind of a dark, real dark color, kind of like the lemon zest in that area. I noticed. Okay, so are you up for trying another level of ripeness here? Sure. So this one has a little tinge of green on many sides. So this lemon meringue should be somewhat different from the last one. I guess what I was trying to say is the color on the outside is not always indicative of the ripeness on the inside. Okay. That was right. A better way of saying that. Very succinctly and accurately said. All right, so this is less ripe. Or so we thought. This one actually has some overripe flavors in it. Mm-hmm. Not that, it's not poison or anything, but it's surprising because of this looking less ripe. It has started to degrade inside close to the seed. So now this time of year, it's very late for lemon meringue anyway, right? So these are some like the Mohicans hanging on the tree. Yeah, and sometimes there's a reason why it's seems overripe, and I mean it's just very odd to me because this side of the fruit is green. You would suspect I'm going to cut into the other side. Yeah, just absolutely. In case possibly it's just one side of the fruit that has that. Thank you. Well, looks like the other side has it too. Yeah. Well, that side near the skin, you get a little bit more of the brightness of the lemon meringue and the really nice flavors that I appreciate in the lemon meringue right near the skin. I mean, it's not bad, but you get more definition and clarity of flavor profile from right near the skin. But that's definitely the best slice that I tasted. Yeah, and then as long as we're talking about like where in the slice is tastier, the stuff
closer to the stem end is usually better than the rest of the fruit as far as brighter and stuff.
Sure,
so
sure.
Try that out, see what you think.
Yeah, and that one's a little lighter color too, because you see that's the color I expected, like a fresh ripe one. That little bit lighter, brighter yellow.
Not juicy at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, that's more what I, besides getting juice all over me, that's
it's
more
a new
what I...
trend to shower in mango juice, right?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that one, that's what I expect from lemon meringue. Yeah. And it's almost like you get a little bit of the, still a little bit of the tartness at the aftertaste. It gets a little tart. And so, yeah, that was good. That's very representative of what I expect from lemon meringue.
Okay, so I think we've hit lemon meringue fairly conclusively. And now we go to the sometimes very weird looking skin.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I know it does that, but that's the first one that I've seen this year that is doing that.
Yeah.
And does everybody know what that is?
Yeah, Har calls this, what was it, trees on a prairie or something like that.
Yeah. Because of the differences between the look.
Yeah, I mean, we've got very yellow and then this greenish blotchy stuff. Absolutely normal for lemon zest.
Now, as far as my limited knowledge, that's the only mango that I know that does that. I know like East Indian gets dark at the top, but none that I see that turn green and kind of blotchy.
Not to this extent. It seems like I've seen it on some other mangoes, but like this is just so prominent.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a really nifty look because there's nothing wrong with it's not a damage. It's just an aspect of the fruit.
Yeah. It's being its own mango.
Yep. You can definitely tell which one it is. You're not going to fool me on that one.
Okay. So, let's see.
And I've only tasted a handful of lemon zests. They are always at a premium, and there's not always a lot of bruised or dropped ones around to taste, so... That's just really good. That's probably the best lemon meringue I've ever had. Or lemon zest.
I was going to say.
That's probably the best lemon zest I've ever had. Yeah, I remember from some of your videos with Har, I think the phrase he used is, it's hands down, or it's a better overall eating experience than lemon meringue. And I'd always question that a little bit because I really like lemon meringue, but I've rarely had a really good lemon zest. And that was spectacular. The complexity and depth of the flavor does exceed the lemon meringue. It absolutely does. That's yummy.
So you don't want another slice?
Yeah, I'll eat another one of that. I think that's the one that the first one I've ever sampled I was the first thing to sample it, insect or otherwise. So. But yeah, it's really good.
Well, they're good if like a bird has eaten a part of it. Mm-hmm. They've done that selection for you.
Yeah, that's really tasty. That one, I've had a little trouble growing over at my place, and I've relegated myself to grafting it to 2 different healthy trees, rather than trying to grow one tree that may produce nothing or have disease problems one year. So I've got an extra space, but I've still got the variety.
Yeah, lemon zest is odd. It seemed like the earlier fruit, of the season of lemon zest were hit more with, like anthracnose and such, and then the later fruit were clean. It definitely is not a trouble-free variety.
Yeah.
But it, for this year anyway, the later fruit were definitely a lot cleaner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then, like I said, I didn't see a ton of them, but that is the prettiest one too that I saw this year too. So that's indicative of its flavor in this case. So.
Okay, so we are sort of going through relatives of Pyu lemon meringue in order of like their occurrence to the best of our knowledge. So we went from lemon meringue to lemon zest, and now we're going to taste. Do you know what this is?
I would assume orange sherbet.
You got it.
Orange sherbet, not orange sherbet. It's not sherbet.
Oh,
it's
but
sherbet.
Aren't there 2 ways of saying
No, there isn't. There's no E at the end. But I'm a little skeptical on this because as famously desirable it is, I've not really had one that just knocked my socks off. So you really got a high goal to set here with this.
So you
fruit.
do have socks on. So
I do.
We just have to see if that if they get knocked off or not.
I feel like I should drink a water real quick to clear the palate.
Cleanse your palate. I mean, normally you have a bottle of wine to do that.
Yeah, or a Campari or something, yeah. All right, here we go.
This one has a little bit of overripe going on.
A tiny bit, but it's creamier than the lemon zest. It may be a ripeness thing, but it definitely broke down and melted a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. And it definitely it tastes more tangerine-y than orange. I don't know if that's shaving hairs, but it is good. But I think if push come to shove, I'd take a lemon zest over it. It is creamier. It is softer.
So let's try the other side of this fruit. It looks very similar to the first side, but
hopefully
we'll see.
Although it'd be really great if it was like a totally different mango on the other side.
Yeah, chocolate flavored.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Alrighty. Ready to go? Looks a little...
Maybe less ripe on this side? I don't know.
I don't know. It had a richer flavor. Yeah, well, that's right. The other side was a little over. So, it definitely is a better taste, a richer flavor than the side that was a little over. But like I said, push come to shove, I'd still take the lemon zest over it personally. I mean the fruit, not the tree. I'd rather grow an orange sherbet tree, but I'd rather have it produce lemon zest fruit.
Orange sherbet is really disease. It seems to be very disease resistant, and the fruit and the tree, and so it's sort of nice to not have to deal with both. Lemon zest has its own issues. Lemon meringue has other issues, but they definitely do not always produce clean fruit. And basically, orange sherbet always produces.
I noticed on one of the orange sherbet trees that there's a lot of fruit low to the ground, and a lot of it had actually been touching the ground and potentially damaged. Is it an aspect of the variety that it, doesn't have a stem and then make like a tree, but has more like a bush shape with a lot of foliage at the bottom? Or
what I've noticed this year with the orange sherbet is that the trees that we have, the entire tree is not loaded with fruit. Instead, there's like one branch that's loaded with fruit, and then all that fruit is dragging that one branch down.
Yeah.
And there's a couple instances of that around the grove. So it's something that has not been as noticeable in the past, but definitely noticeable this year.
Yeah, and if possible, if folks can elevate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a prop stick, and so you just, have a stick with
a V?
Yeah. So a prop stick, so you just have like a stick that has, like two branches that used to be.
Or a notch or something.
Yeah, a notch. There we go. That's good. And so that you can just slip that underneath the branch and have it hold it up higher off the ground. Because if you have a ton of fruit on a small branch, the fruit are going to win the battle.
Yeah.
It's like an arm wrestling match and fruit win. So if you can give it a prop stick, then that's a good, easy solution.
Absolutely.
So here we have another one. It's a little bit underripe, so at least it looks that way.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how this is going to taste, but we will see.
It looks like it's cutting pretty.
Well, it's got some juice. It might have a little more tartness than it normally does. I don't know.
I don't know. It looks pretty ripe inside.
Yeah. So here we go.
And this is?
This is Lemon-esh.
Which is a house variety, as I've been calling it. It's only available here.
Truly tropical originator.
I think it is a little bit underripe. we had one that we sampled out at the gate today when we were selling mangoes, and I think it was a little more representative of the full flavor. I think while this one has the lemon of the Lemon-esh, the one I tasted earlier and I've had in the past, there's a distinct creamy aspect, and it's not a texture, it's a flavor that Lemon-esh has.
Huh?
Well, it's like more like a lemon yogurt than like a lemon tart, which doesn't have dairy in it or something. It just, to me, Lemon-esh, when it's fully ripe.
I'm going to have half.
Ah, I didn't see you did that. Thank you. Yeah, there's like, you know, a creaminess.
More like this one, this piece?
A little bit, but I think that one's just wasn't quite tree ripened to the point the one I had earlier today was. It's definitely ripe, but I would say it's 80% representation of the full flavor of a Lemon-esh, in my opinion, my modest opinion.
So, how would you compare it to what we've just tasted now?
If I were to have to, like, relate it to one of them, I would say that it's probably, to me, most reminiscent of lemon zest, but there's definitely aspects of Lemon-esh that are not in lemon zest for me. And sound like a broken record, a lot of it is that kind of creamy mouthfeel. How about that? A creamy mouthfeel. It's not that the flesh is, you know, melting, but yeah, there's a definite difference in the mouthfeel of Lemon-esh and lemon zest, but if I had to commit to being like one, lemon zest would be the one it would be like. Okay.
So we have one more.
It's something I've never heard of before.
Yeah, this is Hannchen. It is in this same family here.
Is it a house variety or is it a known variety?
Matter of fact, it is.
It is a house variety. Okay, so that's another reason why I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, we went through several years of not having it because the original tree was in a bad location.
Okay.
Very much in the shadows of other trees, and the fruit were very small, and I thought, well, just put it out in the sunshine and see what happens. And so this is what happened. I mean, the fruit used to be really small when it was first fruiting. So, and
I'm half deaf. What is the name again?
Hannchen.
Hannchen?
Yeah.
Does that mean something?
It was one of our YouTube viewers from Germany.
Oh, okay.
Had friends who had just gotten engaged, and he asked if we could pretty please name a mango after them.
Okay, so we need to translate it from German to English to know what it means.
I believe that it is a surname in German.
Oh, okay.
I haven't thoroughly researched that, but I think that's the case.
Gotcha. All right, well, here we go. I've never even knew this existed.
Yeah. It's just a big world of mangoes here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one's definitely creamy, right?
Yeah. Although flavor-wise, it's like if you took lemon meringue and orange sherbet and had a baby. That's the flavor profile. That's the flavor profile. It has the creaminess of Lemon-esh, not that Lemon-esh, but most of the time when I've tasted Lemon-esh, it's super melty, super rich. But yeah, it's definitely more reminiscent of a combination of orange sherbet and lemon meringue, where the Lemon-esh is definitely got a stronger, profile closer to lemon zest. And there is definitely a difference. There's the Lemon-esh and the lemon zest have a zippiness, a lemon zippiness or tanginess that I think that is very distinct for those two varieties. The deeper citrus that I think you find in orange sherbet is represented in this one, but the texture and the kind of meltingness is definitely lemon meringue. There's my 2 cents.
Yeah, it's. I was picking up on the orange flavor too this time, and but also since you had mentioned the creaminess of the Lemon-esh in the previous tasting,
yeah.
I knew that would be something you picked up on also.
I would say this one is this particular piece of fruit, although it's the first one I've ever tasted, it seems to be on point ripeness-wise.
It's exactly how it should be.
Yeah, yeah. From the one that I just tasted. I mean, I don't taste over flavors. It's not overly firm at, when they're, and then, a lot of mangoes will have, a little bit of a lemoniness to them when they're just not ripe. But it's not that. I think it's the texture was wonderful on it, and it's got a really good flavor, no aftertaste whatsoever, no fiber. It's really nice. I actually almost like it better than Lemon-esh. Actually, I do like it better than Lemon-esh.
Oh, wow. Well, that is just crazy.
Well, I've tasted a number of Lemon-esh. That's the first one of those I tasted, but overall, I do like it better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they all have, even though they're all fairly closely related, they all have their little nuances. Some even have quirks.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Shannon, for,
always happy to help.
Stepping up to the plate here and tasting these different citrus-flavored mangoes. And so your favorite is...
The two favorites would be Lemon Zest and the German named one I can't pronounce.
Hannchen.
Hannchen. So yeah, the Hannchen and the Lemon Zest would be my favorite. If I was growing them and not knowing much about how Lemon-esh and the Hannchen grow, obviously Lemon Zest is challenged, like we talked about. As an alternative, I think that you could easily substitute lemon meringue and still be happy with a lemon flavor, because I think they do,
But of course, also what's going on here is they have different seasons usually, and so basically
that's true.
You'll end up growing them all.
Yeah. Well, lemon meringue has such a long season, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Shannon.
My
have
pleasure.
to pack up and ride since
It's raining on us.
It's raining, yes.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for having me.